It was a crisp Saturday morning in Forsyth, Georgia, and the Johnston family was gearing up for another fun-filled weekend. Liz Johnston had just returned from a shift at the local hospital, tired but excited. Her boyfriend Brice Bolden had spent the morning at the park, walking their rescue dog Scout. With wedding talk starting to circulate among fans and family, life felt like it was heading in the right direction. But peace has a way of being deceptive. That evening, Liz and Brice made a spontaneous decision to drive up to Atlanta for dinner and a late-night movie. "We haven't had a date night in forever," Liz said, lacing her fingers through Brice's. He smiled and kissed her hand. "You earned it, babe." Amber watched them leave with her usual caution. "Be careful on the road," she warned. "Rain's coming in." "Don't worry, Mom. We'll text when we get there," Liz called out before the door shut. But the text never came. Amber was folding laundry when her phone rang. The caller ID read, "Unknown." Something in her gut twisted. "Hello. Ma'am, is this Amber Johnston?" "Yes. This is Officer Peterson with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. There's been an accident." The words hit her like a freight train. Liz is okay, right?" Amber's voice trembled. "There's been a serious collision on I-75 northbound. Your daughter Elizabeth and her companion Brice were involved. Emergency services are currently on site. Both are being transported to Macon Medical Center. I recommend you get there as soon as possible." Amber dropped the phone. Trent, who had just walked in from the garage, caught her before she hit the floor. "Amber, what's going on?" She couldn't speak. Only one word came out. "Liz." The entire Johnston household mobilized like a military unit. Jonah took over driving duties, flying down the highway with Amber clenching the seat beside him. Anna and Emma sat in the back, silently crying, holding each other's hands. Alex, stoic as ever, gripped his phone tightly, checking for updates. When they arrived at the emergency room, they found Brice's parents already there. His mother, Deborah, was in tears. His father looked shell-shocked. "What happened?" Amber demanded. "Where are they?" A nurse came out moments later. "They're stable, but it's serious. Ms. Johnston suffered a head injury and a fractured arm. Mr. Bolden has a collapsed lung and multiple rib fractures. He was driving and took the brunt of the impact." Amber gasped. "Can I see her?" "They're prepping her for a CT scan. It'll be a little while." Time stood still in that waiting room. The family huddled together, clinging to each other for warmth and hope. Social media was already buzzing. Fans had spotted emergency vehicles on the highway and speculated wildly. TLC producers, who had been following the Johnston family for years, called Amber directly, offering support. "This won't go on the show," Amber snapped. "Not unless my daughter walks out of this hospital." Liz woke up groggy the next morning. Her vision was blurry, and her head pounded. The sterile scent of antiseptic filled the room. "Liz." Amber was by her side in an instant. "Mom." Her voice cracked. "You're okay, sweetie. You're safe." Liz looked around. "Where's Brice?" Amber hesitated. "He's here too. He's fighting, baby. He's strong." Tears streamed down Liz's cheeks. It was raining. A truck hydroplaned. "I tried to tell him to swerve." "You did everything you could," Amber whispered, brushing her daughter's hair from her face. Meanwhile, Brice was in intensive care. Tubes ran from his chest, draining fluid from his lungs. Doctors were cautiously optimistic, but the next 48 hours would be critical. Word spread quickly among fans. #PrayForLiz and Brice began trending on social media. Hundreds of messages poured in, from long-time viewers to strangers who had simply read the headlines. TLC issued a statement expressing support for the couple and asking for privacy. And through it all, the Johnstons stayed by Liz and Brice's side. Brice opened his eyes 2 days later. Liz was wheeled in to see him, her arm in a sling, bruises on her face, but her spirit intact. When he saw her, He smiled weakly. Hey, beautiful. Liz burst into tears. Don't you ever scare me like that again. Deal. If you marry me. She blinked, thinking she misheard. But then she saw it, a small ring box on the side table. Brice had asked the nurses to bring it in. Even after all this, she whispered. Especially after all this. She nodded through her tears. Yes. The room erupted in cheers, from family, nurses, even the doctor who'd come to check on Brice. Weeks later, Liz posted on Instagram. Life can change in a second. But love. That's what stays. Brice and I were given a second chance, and we're grabbing it with both hands. Thank you for all the prayers. We felt every one. Fans flooded the comments with hearts, prayers, and excitement over their engagement. TLC announced a special 1-hour episode focusing on Liz and Brice's road to recovery and their inspiring journey. Though the accident had shaken the Johnston family to their core, it also reminded them, and the world, that love, resilience, and faith can get you through the darkest of days.